Thousands gathered early on Tuesday to hold a vigil for the one-year anniversary of the devastating earthquakes that hit southeastern Turkey and Syria, as some protested what they called government negligence in the aftermath. Reuters correspondent Sean Hogan has more.
It's been 1 year since a deadly 7.8 magnitude earthquake killed more than 50,000 people in Turkey, some 5,900 in Syria, and left millions homeless. Early on the morning of the anniversary, 10,000 people gathered to hold a vigil in Hatay province, Turkey's worst hit. Local authorities were booed during speeches as calls for the government to resign rang out. Residents believe many died not because buildings collapsed, but from waiting for so long, trapped in the rubble in the cold.
Reuters correspondent Sean Hogan. The Palestinian militant group Hamas said on Tuesday it had delivered its response to a proposed ceasefire deal for Gaza, and the United States said it believed an agreement was possible. Details of U.S. designated terrorist Hamas's response were not immediately revealed, but Qatar, which helped mediate the proposals that was passed on to Hamas last week and would also involve the release of hostages held in Gaza, said the reply had made Doha optimistic. Israel's chief military spokesperson, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, said on Tuesday 31 of the remaining hostages held in Gaza were pronounced dead. He said, "We have informed 31 families that their captured loved ones are no longer among the living and that we have pronounced them dead." This is VOA News. U.S. President Joe Biden is challenging Congress as a Senate deal on border security and Ukraine aid falls apart. AP correspondent Sagar Magani reports.
Within days of bipartisan negotiators reaching a compromise, Senate Republicans have backed away from the package.
Because they're afraid of Donald Trump. Afraid of Donald Trump.
The GOP frontrunners have been whipping Republicans against the package, and the president's calling on them to do the right thing.
They owe it to the American people to show some spine.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is not budging, even if the Senate passes the bill.
I'm not going to put it on the floor in its current form. I've already said that.
The bill's rapid failure leaves the president with no clear way to get Ukraine aid through Congress as Kyiv struggles with arms shortages amid a renewed Russian onslaught. Sagar Magani at the White House.
The World Health Organization warns cholera is at high risk of spreading to African countries that have been largely unaffected by this deadly disease. Lisa Schlein reports for VOA from Geneva.
Africa, particularly Eastern and Southern Africa, is the epicenter of cholera, which has been surging globally since 2021. In the first 4 weeks of this year, the World Health Organization reports 10 of the most seriously affected African countries reported more than 26,000 cases and 700 deaths. This is nearly twice the numbers reported during the same period in 2023. Among the countries of greatest concern, WHO cites Zambia and Zimbabwe, as well as Mozambique, Tanzania, DR Congo, Ethiopia, and Nigeria. Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
Sebastian Piñera, the two-time former president of Chile, who was in his second term, faced a social upheaval followed by a pandemic, died in a helicopter crash on Tuesday. He was 74. Leading the South American nation 2 times from 2010 to 2014 and from 2018 to 2022, the commercial engineer and businessman placed Chile among the 5 countries with the top rates of vaccination in the coronavirus pandemic. The death toll from wildfires that ravaged central Chile for several days has increased to 131. More than 300 people were still missing as the blazes appear to be burning themselves out. The fires in Valparaiso are said to be Chile's deadliest disaster since an earthquake in 2010. Officials have suggested some could have been intentionally set. The United Nations in a statement offered condolences and announced assistance.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comments section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.